Do you know what most happy 80-year-olds secretly have in common? It's not wealth, perfect health, or luck. It's something far simpler. Something they do every single day that quietly keeps their minds sharp, their hearts calm, and their spirits alive. In this video, we're going to explore 5 things that the happiest 80-year-olds consistently do every day. Habits that don't just add years to life, but life to years. These aren't complicated or reserved for the lucky few. They're small, powerful actions rooted in mindset, connection, and purpose. And stay with me until the end, because the 5th one is the most unexpected, and it might just change how you approach every day from now on. Now let's begin. Number 1. They find reasons to move every day. One of the most consistent habits among the happiest 80-year-olds is that they keep their bodies in gentle motion every single day. It's not about long walks or exhausting workouts, it's about movement that keeps their blood flowing, joints flexible, and minds alert. When you watch an older person who seems joyful and full of life, you'll notice that they rarely sit still for too long. They might garden in the morning, stretch while making coffee, or take a slow walk after dinner. What matters isn't the intensity, it's consistency. Their bodies have learned that motion is the rhythm of life. Studies show that even short bursts of daily movement, like 10 minutes of stretching, standing up more often, or doing light chores, can lower inflammation, support heart health, and boost brain function. But what makes it truly powerful isn't the physical benefit alone, it's the sense of aliveness it brings. I once met a man named Frank, 82, who said, "Every morning I move before I think." He didn't mean exercise in the strict sense, he meant getting his body awake before his worries did. He'd open the curtains, stretch his arms, and take 3 deep breaths. "That's my secret," he smiled. "Movement reminds me I'm still here." Happy older adults understand something most people forget. The body and the spirit are connected. When you move your body, your mind follows. When your blood circulates, so does your hope. You don't have to run, lift weights, or do yoga unless you want to. What matters is that you move with joy, not obligation. Even a short walk to greet the sunrise can shift your mood for the entire day. So if you're feeling low, stiff, or tired, start small. Move just enough to remind your body that it's still capable, and your spirit will remember too. Number 2. They keep learning something new every day. Happiest 80-year-olds share a remarkable trait. Their curiosity never retires. They see each day not as another page of repetition, but as a chance to learn, even in small ways. Whether it's reading a short article, trying a new recipe, learning a new word, or figuring out how to use a smartphone app, the act of learning keeps their brain alive and their spirit young. You see, learning isn't just about information, it's about renewal. Every time you challenge your mind, even just a little, you send it a message, "I'm still growing." And that message repeated daily becomes one of the strongest antidotes to depression, loneliness, and decline in later life. There was a woman named Helen, 84, who told me she started watching one educational video every morning after breakfast. "It keeps me sharp," she said. "Yesterday I learned how honey never spoils. The day before I watched a man paint a landscape." It wasn't about mastery, it was about engagement. The world still had things to show her, and that kept her smiling. Researchers say that the happiest older adults are lifelong learners, not necessarily scholars, but explorers of everyday life. They read headlines with curiosity instead of cynicism. They ask their grandchildren to explain the latest slang. They approach unfamiliar things not with fear, but with a quiet sense of wonder. It's not the knowledge itself that matters, it's the humility that comes with seeking it. A mind that's still learning stays flexible, creative, and open. And an open mind keeps the heart open too. If you've stopped learning, you don't need to start big. Just start somewhere. Read one paragraph of something new. Watch one video that sparks interest. ask one question you haven't asked before. Over time, that simple curiosity becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a form of joy. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3, they nurture small connections every day. The happiest 80-year-olds don't measure their relationships by size, but by sincerity. They've learned that joy doesn't always come from big family gatherings or long phone calls. It often lives in the small, everyday gestures that remind us we belong somewhere. It might be the brief chat with a neighbor while checking the mail, a warm smile shared with the cashier, or the habit of texting their grandchildren just to say, "I'm proud of you." Those little interactions, though simple, are like threads that keep the soul stitched to the fabric of life. Loneliness doesn't always appear as silence. It often shows up as routine without warmth. And the older we get, the easier it is to drift into isolation without realizing it. But happy seniors fight that drift. They reach out even when it feels awkward. They call first. They listen more than they speak. They don't wait for love to come. They create it. There was a man named Robert, 79, who told me he hadn't missed a single Sunday breakfast with his friend Harold in 15 years. "We've both buried wives," he said quietly, "but we made a deal. We don't bury our friendship." They didn't always have deep talks. Sometimes they just shared pancakes in silence, but that too was connection. Science backs this up. People with even a handful of genuine relationships live longer, recover faster, and experience lower stress. But beyond the studies lies something more profound. Connection gives meaning. It tells the heart you're still part of something larger than yourself. So if your phone hasn't rung in a while, don't wait for it to. Make the call. Send the message. The happiest older adults know that connection isn't a luxury, it's medicine for the spirit. Number 4, they find purpose in small things. When you meet a truly happy 80-year-old, you'll notice something special. They all wake up with a reason. It doesn't have to be grand or heroic. It might be tending to their plants, calling an old friend, or feeding the birds outside their window. Purpose isn't about achievement anymore. It's about belonging to each new day. Those who lose purpose tend to fade faster, both mentally and physically. The happiest seniors, however, hold on to one simple belief. As long as they can give something, no matter how small, they still matter. It could be baking cookies for the neighbor's kids, volunteering once a week, or simply writing a kind note to someone who's struggling. The joy doesn't come from being needed, it comes from knowing their presence still brings light. A woman named Carol, 81, told me she writes a postcard every Friday to someone who once meant something to her, an old classmate, a former coworker, a nurse who once cared for her husband. "It's my little mission," she said, "and every time I mail one, I feel useful again." That's what happy aging looks like. It's not retirement from life, but a shift toward gentler forms of giving. People who keep a small purpose live longer, sleep better, and feel calmer, because purpose gives the heart direction, even when the body slows down. If you've been waking up without a reason, start by creating one. Something simple, something that's yours. You might be surprised how much lighter the world feels when you know exactly why you're still here. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, they let go of what no longer matters. There's one secret, almost every happy 80-year-old eventually learns. Peace doesn't come from adding more to life. It comes from releasing what no longer belongs. Grudges, regrets, old expectations, the need to be right. These things quietly drain the spirit, leaving little room for joy. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom earned the hard way. I once spoke with a man named Walter, 83, who said something that stuck with me. You can't walk into the sunset if you're still dragging yesterday's shadows. He had spent years holding on to anger toward his brother over an inheritance, but when he finally picked up the phone and made peace, he said he slept through the night for the first time in decades. That's the quiet freedom happy elders radiate. They stop replaying old arguments in their minds. They forgive, not because others deserve it, but because they deserve rest. They stop worrying about what the neighbors think or whether their children live exactly as they'd hoped. They understand that life was never meant to be controlled, it was meant to be appreciated. When you reach your 70s and 80s, holding on becomes heavy. The happiest seniors choose lightness. They laugh more easily, accept imperfections more readily, and stop wasting energy on things they can't change. They spend less time comparing and more time enjoying. And in doing so, they quietly discover that happiness was never something to chase. It was what remained after they stopped resisting. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing your heart to focus on what still brings warmth today. A song, a moment of calm. The happiest 80-year-olds know that every day is lighter when you no longer carry what hurt you yesterday. Final thoughts. When you look closely at the happiest 80-year-olds, you'll notice something deeper than luck or good genes. It's a way of living, a quiet discipline of gratitude, connection, and letting go. They don't see their age as an ending, but as a refinement, a stage of life where they no longer chase, but cherish. Many of them will tell you that joy doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from learning how to live with it. They've lost people, seen dreams fade, and watched their bodies change. But instead of clinging to the past, they embrace what still remains. The laughter of a friend, the smell of morning coffee, the warmth of sunlight through a window. They choose to see the beauty in what's left, not mourn what's gone. So if you're watching this and wondering how to hold on to happiness as you age, remember this. It's not found in trying to relive your youth. It's found in honoring your present, in slowing down enough to see that every breath, every conversation, every quiet moment is a gift. At 80, happiness isn't a goal, it's a practice, and those who master it, even in small ways, show us that aging gracefully isn't about resisting time, it's about dancing with it. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.